Welcome to the Tough Love Arena State of the Game stream. I'm your host, M. Paul Weeks, one of the co-creators of Tough Love Arena, and tonight I'll be telling you all about the state of the game. This is the June 2023 edition. We've been doing this for... How long have we been doing this for? We've made it to 2 years. Oh my god! It's been 2 years. Holy crap. Alright. I mean, it's been more than 2 years. Maybe I said this last month and I already forgot. But welcome. Awkward start. Welcome to the State of the Game stream. I'm going to spend the next 30 to 60 minutes telling you about all the state of the game. What did we do in May? What are we working on this month in June? What do we have to look forward to in July, August, and so forth. And as always, we will end with a Q&A. So stick around and I will be taking questions from stream chat at the end. So first I like to talk about the past. What did we accomplish in May? So big one, we went to Combo Breaker. We had a booth and we ran our second sort of official side tournament in one of these events. We did it at Frosty Faustings back in February, and this time we ran an event at Combo Breaker. If you don't recognize him on stage, that is Handsome Phil taking the first place medal, like a bully. Him and Grum also helped me out. Grum was on comms with me, if you want to find the VODs. I think they've already been uploaded to the Combo Breaker YouTube. If not, I was planning to mirror them myself. TBD. Premium was second place. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure we hooked afterward. I hooked up with him afterwards. Okay, I've tried to think of another way of saying hooked up. That's awkward. It went to second place. But yeah, thank you for everyone who played. Thank you, Grum, for joining me on comms, and thank you for everyone who watched. It was a lot of fun. We're going to keep trying to do these because we get these little medals, and they're very cool. Also in May... speaking more about Combo Breaker, I wanted to shout out 2 other indie fighting games I saw at Combo Breaker. Now, just because I had a lot of fun playing them and I want to put them on your radar. One of them, this is my first time seeing it, it's called Heavenly Parasite. It's a one dev team. I believe, Phil was there. He might be able to add a little bit more info. I see you in the chat, Phil. But I'm pretty sure the creator, this guy named Chance, is like sort of an artist as his day job. He had a bunch of beautiful illustrations for sale and has done like comic art and stuff. But he's making his own fighting game called Heavenly Parasite. It was a lot of fun. It had this like... It was 1v1 with some pretty advanced movement, but it had this system where you got to pick like 3 different assists. So think like NPC1 assists, where it's not like a tag character. The character just assists, but you get to pick them. And it also changes like the team super that you can do. But yeah, I played it for like an hour. It was a lot of fun. It felt a lot of fun to move around. The assist mechanic I definitely get enough time to like really bake with, but looking forward to playing it again when it comes out for real or next time I see him at an event. Also there was 5 Force Fighters. So I've seen this team before. They were at EVO with us last year. It's these 2 brothers, and they're making this really... What's a good word for it? Not complicated. This really advanced fighting game. It's a 2D fighter with also Heavenly Parasite had this sort of directional inputs, I think, more so than like quarter circles. But it's there's a major focus on movement, and I think you have like parrying instead of blocking. It definitely I want to spend more time with it. I spent like a good half hour mashing out and just talking to like the artist about it. But it looks like there's a lot of meat to it. I know Abik sat and played for a while and was able to figure out some crazy stuff. So they've been in development for over a year now. They had a Kickstarter that I retweeted early last year. You can check out them on all their socials, Kaizen Creed. I don't think they have a public build yet, but they do have a Discord. Yeah, so both of these, definitely have them on your radar. I thought they were super fun. Hoping to see them at more events in the future. We also got some decent work done. I did some major maintenance work that I've been putting off. So again, this doesn't have immediate direct value for the players, for the users, but these tech debt items, as we describe them, are sort of an investment in the future. They make future work easier, faster, more efficient. So one of them was doing some major refactoring of my menu system and adding a bunch more test coverage. This can help catch bugs before they reach production. Another one was updating the code base. I started this thing in Node 14 when that was already kind of old, just because it was what I knew off the top of my head. Because remember, I started development on this code base in late 2019. So that's 4 years ago, and it was already not the latest thing at the time. We were very overdue for an upgrade. Updating allows me to leverage newer libraries, update the latest version of newer libraries. Sometimes I'd have a dependency and they'd be like, oh, we pushed a patch that, fixes some bugs, but you need at least Node 16 to update, stuff like that. So the actual goal is to get to Node 18. I wasn't able to do that because it required too many changes to, in specific, how the account authorization worked in a way, a pre-COVID code base, exactly what you said. That was a little heavier, so I decided to stop at 16, but meaningful progress. Again, super nerdy, kind of hard to describe, very abstract, but very relieved to get that done. I also added some modding improvements, got some good feedback. That was like at the beginning of the month. So that now when you're playing with community mods, you can see more information as you're choosing them. I also forked the boss into two versions, sort of like the actual boss battle version and a playable version, where the playable version has a normal amount of health. And I might have other like small tweaks to the playable version, maybe like lower damage, for example, or different passives or meter or something. But I want the boss characters to be a little bit more casual friendly. I still don't plan to make them available in, say, ranked or make them like a standard feature, because they're always going to be sort of made from reused parts. They're not going to have, custom animation in the way that like we animate a move for pork. But I want them to be, more of a fun treat that you can actually play with and not just like this thing you unlock and then it's just too OP to play with your friends. The bosses are not accessible currently? What does that mean? Can you not choose them even if you have them unlocked? Or are you talking about in online? So I was thinking about that charge. I don't think I need to take them all the way down to like Akuma health, but even just like reasonable health was a big improvement. The art on the character select screen, ooh, interesting. I admittedly have been like at least a week plus out of date, and I know that's when I last pushed a patch for this. I've been out of date because I've been traveling. Do me a favor, DM me this, and I'll take a look after the stream, or maybe at the tail end of the stream. But yeah, that's the goal of that. Now that I've got that, mostly working, that allows me to fork them even more. So as I finally get around to some of these long planned changes to the boss characters and start developing the boss carb character, it's exciting knowing that can be, relatively balanced for play. And lastly, upgrading the code base gave me the opportunity to update my clipboard copier and fix some bugs there. So, a bunch of cleanup, some quality of life, and some investment in the future. Present, what's going on right now? So, the last months have been a little bit scattered. I had some stuff in progress, and then I put everything on pause to get April Fool's done. And then life has been pretty busy for the last 2 months, basically since April Fool's, with a lot of work stuff and travel. So right now I kind of have 4 things. I mean, actually I have more than this, but the 4 sort of urgent things that are all sort of in progress right now have been the long-running training mode of matchmaking. I've been chipping away at that very slowly. Meet changes. I have a bunch of changes that I've been testing in Patreon in late May. Hoping to get them out before Combo Breaker, but then when it became clear that wasn't going to be feasible, I sort of put them on ice. Some of them I've had thoughts after seeing playtesting, talking more to Patreon. These are the April Fool's changes. Some of them I'm probably going to walk back. I'm not as sure as I used to be on like changing the meat jump arc for example, but I think I am still excited about changing Palm. So that's on the burner, but it doesn't feel as urgent as it did for me 2 months ago, and I was really excited to make these changes. I've had a little doubt since then. Third is the ability to record replays in client. So this is a proof of concept I tested out really quick. But basically, you'll know if you've ever used like Discord in the browser or Google Meet or any of these sort of screen share things. you can be in a browser in a website and have the ability to share your screen, right? I can use that API, that functionality, and ask you to share your TLA screen with itself. So TLA asks you to share your screen, you click on the current tab, and then I can record that for you and spit it out as an MP4 file. With more polish and testing, this means that you could play your replay locally and record it all in the browser. Thus saving a step for people who do want to immortalize their replays, having to figure out their own means of a screen recording. I can provide the screen recording for you. This could even also spiral to long-term, like just passively recording in video matches that you play, if you want that as a setting. This will definitely be opt-in. I don't know what the performance implications are yet. So again, so far I've just made a proof of concept. I know it's possible. It's ugly, it's weird, but it is possible. So that's exciting, and I want to work on that more. And lastly, throw teching. Again, I've talked about this a little bit. I've talked about this a bunch in the past. Making throws work has been a long-running journey. At first, the original conceit was always just attack speed throws. But Pork's meaty caber was really strong, and that was bound. You couldn't really do meaty throws because they used to be proximity throws. And Pork's caber toss was just kind of like really hard to mash out of. So we added the walking forward thing, but that was really unintuitive. It worked, but it was unintuitive. And people would often miss throws, like avoid throws on accident, or they'd walk through the first half of startup and then get tagged at the end when they stopped walking. It was very inelegant and visually confusing watching people walk through throws. So it worked gameplay-wise for the buffering, but it did not work, I think, aesthetically. We'll say that at the least, on a bunch of fronts. And then when I changed throws to no longer be proximity throws, it sort of made the Pork problem more pronounced. Right now we have this throw invulnerability thing, which sort of expands the mashing window. But I also don't really love right now how throws are so high risk for the thrower, right? Because if I land the throw, it does 200 and switches sides and gains meter. But if you guess I'm going to throw, your counter option is to get a full combo. And I don't know if I want throws to be that weak. They're already inherently weak because most characters can't loop them, etc. The fact that throws carry that much risk for attempting because you can get mashed through was not something I really thought through when I originally added it, and something that over time has been bugging me more and more. So I have ideas on how to add throw teching, as it'll be a similar thing where if you like press light attack right before you get thrown, if you try to throw someone during their startup frames, it would auto-tech the throw. Or if you press right after you've been thrown, it will tech. But testing it and making sure it hits the right balance of like, these are escapable, but they're not trivial to escape, there's a lot of work to be done there. So I've already done a little bit of progress on like, I think I have a branch where I've already implemented sort of the auto-teching, but I still need to work out like, what's the throw animation going to look like and how am I going to balance it? And then this will all go through canary testing before it gets made official. But I'm optimistic about that. I think that might be. I want to try and preserve the idea of telling new players mash to avoid throws and having that work, but without it. But simultaneously making it kind of easier to do on reaction, and making it better for throwers. So less risky when your throw gets called out. Maybe that would be the balance. Throws are easier to escape, but escaping doesn't mean you get to do a third of their life, right? Figuring it out. So that's all the stuff. Those are all the things I have cooking right now. They're all in various stages of progress. Training mode is definitely my highest priority, but I make this game for fun. So depending on when the spirit hits me, I might actually finish throw teching first, for example. We'll see how it goes. And now let's talk about the future. Yeah, not sure on Caber table. Not sure if how the tech rules work with Caber. I assume Caber will have a lot of the same tech rules. Maybe the tech window will be smaller. I don't know. Coming up, TLA will be at Defend the North. So if you don't know, Defend the North is a PC tournament in Brooklyn in July. We will have a booth. We meaning me. I will have a booth. I don't know if we'll have a side tournament. It's not anything I've planned ahead. At this point, it's so short notice, probably not. But I'll at least have a presence. So if you're in the area, if you're in the Northeast, if you're planning to attend Defend the North, definitely come search us out. We'll post more information on Twitter as the event gets closer. So super excited I was able to get into this one last minute because it's in my backyard. We are also confirmed to be at EVO this year again. So that is the first week of August. I think Heavenly Parasite will also be there. They're confirmed. I'm not sure about 5 Force Fighters. But this will be great. Again, booth confirmed, side tournament TBD. But super excited for this one. This is always my favorite. There's a bunch of other indie developers there, and there's just so much to do at the event. So if you're going to EVO, we'll see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to actually watch Sunday Finals this time instead of just burning out and spending all Sunday relaxing. Yeah. Can't wait. Other exciting news. We will have an online major tournament in July. The dates, I'm not sure yet because of Defend the North and some personal stuff in the beginning of July, so probably going to be like week 3 or 4. As I iron out those details, I will let you all know, but I'll try to get that challenge out in the next week or 2 so you can have a chance to sign up. Just know it's going to be after Defend the North. So we will not have any skins prepared or anything like that, but there will be a premium account. Maybe we'll let you claim any skin if you participate, something like that. But it should be fun, and I want to commit to doing an online major every 3 months, so we'll have one in July. Also, I have some very exciting personal news that is just like 1 to 2 days too soon to share. So this is related to the game, but I can't say it yet out loud. It's not super huge or anything. I don't want to super get your hopes up, but it's something I'm personally very excited to talk about. So I will talk about that more in our next State of the Game, which I think is in 2 weeks. Right? That's how far away July 3rd is? Yeah, 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we'll definitely have firm dates for the July Major. We'll have more information about Defend the North and EVO, and I'll have some exciting personal news. So look forward to that. And it's going to be a short turnaround because this one was in the middle of the month. Thank you everyone for understanding. I had a bunch of travel and other stuff going on. But figured it'd be nice to do this little update, tell you about the July tournament, tell you about all these other tournaments. Remember, Defend the North in July, EVO in August, and we'll do this again in 2 weeks and I'll give you more updates. I will say in the short term, development work will be slow. I don't know how much I'm actually going to get done in the next 2 weeks, but that is somewhat related to my personal news. So, more coming down the pipe later, just in a little bit of a slow period right now. To be continued. And lastly, before we go to the Q&A, I'm going to show this combo video that Meat made. So, 1 second, let me turn off the music and see if we can get this working.
You remind me of a man. Oh, the man with the power. Oh, the power of voodoo. Oh, you do. You remind me of a man. Yeah, the man with the power. Yeah, the power of voodoo. Yeah, you do. Oh, we come dinkum, not of a Shrek. Save us from the man with the hex. Save us from his evil curse. It's gonna get bad, yeah, it's gonna get worse. Hocus pocus, Alakazam.
Is that throw whip?
From that evil man with hairy legs and heavy feet. He cracks up
Oh no, Mr. Meat!
creeps.
Oh.
Yeah, you do.
Noodle, why? It's so long. Oh my god. Yo, TOD?
Save us, 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 save us. Winkum, dinkum, anonymous Rex. Save us from the man with the hex with buggy eyes and a bulging neck. Save us from the man with the hex.
Oh, 3 soups? Hold on a second. I'm gonna rewind at the end.
Save us, 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 save us from the man with the hex.
Oh. Oh. Meat and table. Thank you both. That's very lovely. Now hold on one second. Is this is this using the? I think I can't remember if this is known or this was a bug that I tried to patch, but the thing that checks like, oh, you already have 2 projectiles, you can't do soup. That doesn't check on the canceling into soup, right? That's how this is possible. So there's 2 soups, but this cancel doesn't check. This cancel always works. Meep says yes. Okay. Alright, time to patch that. No, that was lovely. I'll share the link for that so you can watch it not through a stream as soon as this is done.
You remind me
Oop.
of a man.
Next slide. And we are at the Q&A. Mishimi has a funny hurt box. Oh, that's right. I think, yeah, he has a bigger hurt box than his push box, which is unique to him. I think his push box is the same size as everyone else, but his hurt box is the size of his body. I thought that there was more links than usual. Very smart. Yes, you did call it Eat Deck. Okie dokie, starting now, I will, no, the beef stuff was great. Both of the beef stuff. That was too much was happening to parse. But I'm looking forward to watching them again later. Time for the Q&A. If you want to ask anything, just put it in chat starting now. If you asked something earlier, please post it again. I'm not going to scroll up. And we'll talk for 10, 20 minutes as long as people have questions. And then maybe I'll take a look at that character select bug. But anything on people's minds? Put the music back on. Looks like no questions. Oh, just got a bunch. All right. Esid asks, would you think about changing onion multi-parry button to be different from normal parry so people mashing don't multi-parry by mistake? That's actually a great idea, Esid. I like that. I think that's a great idea. Please post it in... This is how you can make sure I remember to do things. Although I still have some unread DMs from Joro. Sorry, Joro, if you're in the chat. Post that in feature request, ESID, and then post a link to the feature request comment in a DM to me. Taylor Rice asks, thoughts on SWAT anti-air with meter still doing less damage than slap anti-air with meter even after the nerfs? Yeah, that's right. Rice also feels kind of clunky in general as they can't really keep characters out as well. They have up-close tools like swipe, but the risk reward is bad and defense is abysmal. So on the SWAT meter thing, I forget how it worked in past patches. I think it was maybe a different juggle limit. Or maybe it was when SWAT was 2 hits or scaled differently. SWAT meter does more damage. Oh, okay. Meaning, why do slap is your question. It's a little hard to balance SWAT's damage because you want it to work well in combos and raw. I had some changes in mind. Let me see what I was working on. What did I have in mind for this? I was planning to make teleport harder to throw. That would improve the defensive. But I think that's it. Starter scaling could be a solution. Another idea could be to give it a sour spot. Maybe SWAT doesn't work point blank. But I'd have to make sure that doesn't mess up any of the combos, especially in the corner. That could be hard. That would like match the animation better. I don't know. On the specific anti-air situation, I don't have a great idea off the top of my mind. Rice feeling clunky in general. Table knows more than anyone else in chat. Rice definitely got a lot of nerfs back to back. I'm not sure. I will take your... We didn't do a survey this month because this month's schedule was all weird. I plan to do one for July. But I take your feedback in account table. I'll keep it in mind, but I can't promise anything right now. I don't have anything ready to go out, and I don't have any super strong feelings at the moment, but I will take it under advisement, so thank you. As for being reliant on meter, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that for Rice. Eastit says, any updates on meets uppercut on airborne opponents? Yes, so for those who don't know, the way it works right now, if you land uppercut on an airborne opponent, which is pretty much only after if you do an RC, or you're in the corner, or you do caber toss. It will always force a knockdown. I had 2 ideas that I was testing out in Canary. One was that the tackle on airborne always forces one more juggle hit, so that the uppercut can never whiff. You will always get the uppercut, and not like have them fall out halfway through. The second idea was that uppercut would actually always give you 1 juggle point. It creates some kind of cool combos. Let's see. Oh, this is the clipboard. Right. Well, I will start slowly booting it up while I talk. 1 second. test this when it's ready. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, uppercut juggling. So an idea I had to train. Someone inspired me on this. I think it was during the Q&A on the May State of the Game. This idea of having the uppercuts. What if the uppercut always relaunched? And at first I thought, like, oh, you know, that's not possible. That can't be possible, because then how do you stop it from looping? And then I had the idea, wait. Whoa. What if uppercut grounded does what you expect? Launch of 3 juggle points. Uppercut on airborne launches with 1 juggle point. You can see the number 1 right there. This makes it impossible to loop uppercut, because the only way to get to uppercut is by doing a heavy punch first. Even if you get the tackle to whiffle, even if you get the tackle to whiff because of the height, they would fall out. And this creates some kind of cool situations for like Caber in particular, where now you can do that. You get to sort of go for uppercut and then choose your ender. Do I choose the damage ender with Badoki, or do I choose the like chop ender or whatever? I guess just any button would do. Something like that. This is the version that I was testing on Canary. It does add a lot of damage. It adds a lot of damage to a bunch of meat routes, especially pork. So I'm not sure if I want to keep this, because I really like the juggling, and I'll have to find a way to like bring the damage down, which will inevitably affect other routes. Because I do kind of like this. Or if I just do the in-between method and make sure it always does the little pop-up. But, something like that, right? Shoo. So, this was an idea I was experimenting with. But I honestly haven't thought about it in a month, because I did a combo breaker and then life. So, no promises right now, but it's something I'm reevaluating. The 6 inches raw uppercut. Circling back a little bit, on parries. Why are parries only -5 on block? I believe my intent, I've been working on this for so long, I have to try and remember things. I believe my intent of that is that I didn't want a parry, if successfully landed, to ever be punishable. I think a lot about the signals we send new players when they're like, I'm gonna do this cool tool, and then the tool backfires on them somehow. And having a parry be successful and then punished on block, like let's say they happen to parry just a move with, like they parry a safe jump without realizing it's a safe jump. And then suddenly the parry gets blocked, they'll think, oh, parry just like doesn't work, or parry sucks. It's something they eat a full follow-up combo. That is my temptation, to have you just lose your turn. That said, I've made it no secret that I'm not a huge fan of parries in general. Looking back as a design tool, unlike DPs like Frenzy that can be used both defensively and offensively, they can appear as combo fodder, for example. Like, I don't like how Feast or Famine parries can be, but so I've experimented. If you've been here for 3 years, you've known that I've experimented with different startups, different recoveries, different rewards. So I see your point, Table. Some characters don't have great counterplay to it. I would argue that actually Rice, compared to other characters, does have counterplay, because in the specific situation you're talking about, the safe jump, you bait it by going for dive kick and then throwing. So I disagree on it being a problem. Table also has thoughts on making carbs do a little more damage. Honestly, my temptation would be instead to make the art characters do less damage. Slash, I'm okay with carbs not doing that much damage because walking into whip, whip, whip over and over again, you don't want that. If those whips threaten a lot of damage, like, that's a bad feeling. I think carb damage is fine where it is. Carbs has the better neutral, they get the worst damage. Edes asks, what is grill time? Go back and play, I think it was last year's April Fools? Someone correct me if I'm wrong? 2021? Was it 2022? Right, 2022. This year's 2023. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's April Fools 2022.tuffleforarena.com. Pick beef, do back S. It's interesting. Floating parry. Oh, like, was that the one that, like, just sort of stuck them in midair? Give Onion a 220 damage command grab followed. For real, for real. So, noted, table. I hear your complaints, but it's also important for characters to have weaknesses. And having bad combos off lights, I mean, originally they had no combos off lights, but I thought that was just too boring to play. So having bad combos off lights, and Bryce in particular having a bad defensive option is intended. While I wait to see if there's any more questions, I'm going to take a look at that bug. So let's go on over to... Bring back the thing from AF22 where beef can cancel lemon into shaking his ass. Oh, was this the... No, was that like the fast lemon where he just jiggled 3 times as a way of having more recovery? Okay, so... Someone was saying that the boss characters aren't choosable. So I see them here. But this is not the same as if you had unlocked them on your account. How can I reproduce that? Let's take a look. Oh. I know what it is. Apologies. I know exactly what it is. Okay. How do we do this? I know what the bug is. So, and this would explain why my most recent change broke it. I think. So every character in the game has unique code, which is their ID. I called it code for some reason. Well, no. So the character itself has a code. Like, Garlic has a code, which is Garlic. And then each skin for Garlic has an ID. Garlic, normal, Garlic, pink, Garlic, Halloween, whatever. And when you get the condition to unlock a boss character, it adds information to your account that says you have unlocked the code for Boss Pork. That's the code. And then it's Boss Pork Black and Boss Pork White, right? For the IDs. The playable version of Boss Pork, the one with the fixed health, has a different code. It's like playable Boss Pork. And I removed the boss characters from the character select and replaced them with the playable ones, which means their codes won't match what you actually have in your account. So this is not too hard to fix. I'll need to do like a migration for people's accounts. That's a bummer. Oops, I just closed my stream preview. API color. Yeah. Yeah, that's my choice, he said, which would be easier / better. Migrate everyone's accounts from saying Boss Pork to playable Boss Pork, or just swap the codes. Although I don't know how it's been working for people who have unlocked them for the last week. So, this is bigger than this stream. I'll have to fix this later. This is not a real quick one, but I now know what the issue is, so I will look into it. Any last minute questions? Anything left before I shut things down? Table says, do you have any thoughts on Frenzy? Its risk reward can be very bad if things with unskilled lemon starter and pork canceling 5L into Caber on it. I'm okay with both of those. That is a very bad, it's a very scary risk. That's good in my opinion. It's a very strong, flexible DP, defensive move. It is the most... It's the only frame 1 DP that you can do while getting up. It has massive active frames, walks forward, has a huge hitbox. I'm okay with how high risk it is on Noodle. True, I mean compared to... In my mind, there's parries and there's DPs. Ooh. I understand your concerns, Table. I disagree. When will Amy host a State of the Game? Probably never. I don't think they like being on camera, basically. They're always welcome to, but this came up at the beginning. I asked them if they wanted to be on camera during State of the Games or like during tournaments or anything, and they can be pretty shy. So, last question of the night. Frederick asks, also, have you completely chosen Synthwave 24/7 or Rollify 24/7? Yes. As soon as I saw that Synthwave 24/7 was available, it became my new fave. Table asks, when will Amy come back to be the Lore Master? I don't know. Ask Amy. I will call it there. thank you, everyone. This will be up on YouTube soon. And again, stay posted for updates on the tournaments. I'll be sharing out links to those in the coming weeks. Long story short, just to wrap up for Charge and Chat and anyone else, we will be at Defend the North in Brooklyn in July, and we'll be at EVO in Las Vegas in August. So come check it out if you're already planning to go to those or if you are in the area. And until next time, I am your host, Paul. Thank you for coming, and we'll be back for another State of the Game in 2 weeks. So I'll see you all on July 3rd. Until then.